Today on Public Eye News, Northern Michigan University will be hosting a gun control debate, and Austin, Texas is likely facing a serial bomber.
Caleb Rydell will have a look at this week's weather forecast, and Max Stevens has an update on March Madness. Hi, I'm Anthony Cilia.
And I'm Jillian Wormeliger. Welcome to Public Eye News. The TED Talks Club at Northern Michigan University will host a TEDx event featuring 8 regional speakers who will share their ideas and research on a variety of topics. TED is a nonprofit devoted to spreading ideas, usually in the form of short, powerful talks. It is scheduled from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Saturday, March 24th. While NMU's licensing agreement limited the number of tickets available for the event in Jamrich Hall Auditorium, campus and community members are welcome to view a live stream on their own or obtain tickets for an overflow viewing in 1322 Jamrich Hall, which includes access to a reception with presenters in the University Center. And on Wednesday, March 28th, Northern Michigan University will be hosting a gun control debate at 7:30 p.m. in room 1100 of Jamrich Hall. The debate will include 2 participants, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Joel Rubin, who is now a faculty member at Carnegie Mellon University, and John Lott Jr., Fox News columnist and president of the newly formed Crime Prevention Research Center. Rubin is an expert on foreign policy and national security, and Lott's opinion pieces have appeared in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and other major publications. Political science professor Stephen Nelson will serve as moderator.
Captain John Halpin, commander of the Michigan State Police 8th District, will be honored during the Governor's Traffic Safety Advisory Commission. The annual event is taking place at the Kellogg Hotel and Conference Center in Lansing on Wednesday, and Captain Halpin has been in this position since 2012 and has been vigilant in his efforts to put a strong traffic safety culture in place throughout the Upper Peninsula. Halpin has been at this position for 30 years, or has had a career for 30 years with the Michigan State Police, in which he has served as post commander in Manistee, Munising, and Negaunee. He is receiving the Richard H. Austin Long-Term Traffic Safety Award, an honor given to individuals for organizations making significant long-term contributions to the field of traffic safety. And an Easter egg stroll is taking place at the Delft Bistro and Donkers in downtown Marquette this Saturday. Starting at 9 a.m., participants can stroll throughout 6 Easter stations that featured candy prizes, face painting, and even an appearance by the Easter Bunny. If you bring a toy donation to the event, you are entered to win an Easter basket or a meal for 4 at Donkers and the Delft. Proceeds go directly towards Northwoods Air Lifeline, and toys are sent to Mott's Children's Hospital. The event is free and open to all ages.
Deputies from the Mackinac County Sheriff's Office are investigating a 1-vehicle rollover crash that occurred on Cheeseman Road in Warren Township. Central Dispatch received a 911 call at 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 14th of a 1-vehicle crash. Deputies report the driver, a 20-year-old male from Schoolcraft County, was westbound on Cheeseman Road and failed to negotiate a curve, and the full-size pickup truck left the road, rolled over, and ejected the driver, who was not wearing a seatbelt. The driver was the lone occupant of the vehicle. Alcohol is not believed to be a factor. And federal officials announced a tentative plan Friday to relocate 20 to 30 gray wolves to Isle Royale National Park in Michigan over 3 years to replenish a population that has nearly died out because of inbreeding and disease. The National Park Service said it would make a final decision after giving the public a month to react to its proposal for rescuing the predator species that has roamed the Lake Superior Wilderness Park for about 70 years. The wolves have helped maintain the ecosystem by culling a moose herd that otherwise would overeat the island's vegetation, while delighting tourists with their eerie howls and occasional appearances on backwoods hiking trails. For now, moose are flourishing on Isle Royale, their numbers estimating at 1,600 last year. But some scientists have raised concerns about how climate change could affect moose in the northern U.S. And after the break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
He wasn't just a good player, he was a superstar.
It was us against the world.
He had a kind of fury in him.
He's taking horrible abuse and death threats.
He took on everything that we were afraid to face and faced it.
We will inspire the greatest vote in the history of this nation.
He wasn't just a really good second baseman. He changed the entire country.
Tonight at 9 after Antiques Roadshow.
And welcome back. Austin, Texas is experiencing what is being called a serial bomber. 2 men were badly injured when they activated a tripwire while walking through town. Police say that the tripwire bombs require a higher level of sophistication than the parcel bombs that have been showing up on doorsteps throughout the city since earlier this month. The previous parcel bombs have already claimed 2 lives and injured 2 others, in addition to the tripwire bomb that just hospitalized 2. This is the 4th bombing this month, and police say it is beyond coincidence at this point and believe that all crimes are linked due to their similarities. And President Trump sparked new fears that he may be trying to quash the investigation into possible collusion with the Trump campaign after he attacked special counsel Robert Mueller by name over the weekend. Mola Lenghi has more details from the White House.
A total witch hunt with massive conflicts of interest. That's the latest tweet from President Trump, who spent the weekend attacking special counsel Robert Mueller and his investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. In a flurry of tweets over the weekend, the president said the Mueller probe should never have been started and attacked its team of investigators for being politically motivated. Why does the Mueller team have 13 hardened Democrats, he wrote, some big crooked Hillary supporters and 0 Republicans? 13 of the 17 members of Mueller's team are registered Democrats, but Mueller himself is a longtime Republican.
A Trump-nominated Rod Rosenstein is who picked Bob Mueller. So give him the time, the resources, the independence to do his job. And when you are innocent, if the allegation is collusion with the Russians and there is no evidence of that, and you're innocent of that, act like it.
Only Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein can fire Bob Mueller, but lawmakers are warning the president not to interfere and pressure Rosenstein to end the investigation. On Saturday, John Dowd, the president's personal lawyer, called on Rosenstein to bring an end to the investigation.
I think that people see that as a massive red line that can't be crossed. I hope that the pushback is now to keep the president from going there.
White House attorney Ty Cobb tried to calm those fears, saying the president is not considering or discussing the firing of special counsel Robert Mueller. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
In Georgetown, Kentucky, 2 trains collided and derailed, which led to the injuries of 4 people. The residents near the scene were evacuated out in an abundance of caution because something spilled after the collision and there was a fire. Officials determined there was no safety risk from the spill and allowed residents to return home. The fire has been extinguished, but the identities and the conditions of the 4 injured are not yet known. And Vladimir Putin will lead Russia for another 6 years after winning nearly 77% of the vote in Sunday's presidential election. As Putin celebrates the win, tensions with the West show no signs of letting up. Elizabeth Palmer has the details from Moscow.
Of course, the outcome of this election was never in doubt. In fact, days ago, workmen came to where I'm standing in central Moscow to erect a massive stage for Vladimir Putin's victory speech. He walked onto that stage late last night, plainly delighted by the size of his landslide. Russia's opposition groups flagged several election irregularities. For example, watch the woman in the black dress stuffing the ballot box. But that wouldn't have altered the result. The fact is that the majority of Russians willingly cast ballots for the man they believe restored stability to Russia. Of course, the Kremlin did pull out all the stops to get out the vote, including at the polling station we visited, setting up free cancer screening blood tests. After his big win, President Putin directly addressed Britain's accusation that he was behind the poisoning of the Russian exile Sergei Skripal with nerve agent. It was rubbish, he said. Later, his campaign spokesman actually thanked Britain for helping Vladimir Putin win, saying, whenever Russia's accused of something, the people gather around the center of power, which, of course, is Vladimir Putin. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, Moscow.
And don't go rushing away, because we'll be right back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
The Rolling Stones. A performance of their legendary album, Sticky Fingers, as well as behind-the-scenes insights.
Describe the cover, I can't even remember it.
The cover is a picture of a guy's denim jeans.
What, who's credited? Gotta be Mick, right?
Sticky Fingers at the Fonda Theater.
Tuesday at 1 after Antiques Roadshow on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. I'm Caleb Rydell, going to be taking you through your weather for today. As you can see behind me, we got some sun and a little bit of clouds out there on the NMU campus right now, and we're going to melt off some of that snow. Hopefully, it's going to heat up here. Looking out right at our current conditions, we're looking at some cloudy out there with a temperature of 24 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 12 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.23 inches and steady. Tomorrow we're looking at some more clouds with a low of, or tonight we're looking at some clouds with a low of 17 and winds out of the northeast at 10 miles per hour. And tomorrow we're also looking at some more clouds with a temperature of 24 degrees. With winds out of the northeast at 11 miles per hour. I told you, I know what I'm talking about, people. It's 24 degrees out there. All right, Sault Ste. Marie, we're going to start up with 24 degrees. Some sun in the lower belt of the UP out there with Manistee at 28. 30 degrees in Escanaba and down in Menominee, 28. Looking at the western half of the UP, we're looking at 32 degrees in Iron Mountain, Ironwood with 31, up in the Keweenaw in Houghton with 27, and back here in Marquette, 24 degrees. Now let's take a look at your week ahead. On Wednesday, we're looking at a high of 29 degrees, a low of 16 with some clouds out there. Thursday, high of 33 degrees with a low of 19 and some sun. Some more sun looking out at Friday, and we got a high of 36 and a low of 22. Well, Max, we are looking at some sun, but it was not shining out there on the court or ice rink this weekend for NMU.
No, it makes me sad. The dust has settled in the WCHA, and Michigan Tech has emerged as the conference champion for the second straight year. Entering the conference tournament as the 5 seed, the Huskies defeated Bemidji State in the first round before taking down top seed and national powerhouse Minnesota State. Then, in the championship game, the Huskies marched into Marquette and emerged victorious in a tough battle against NMU to win the title. With their second conference championship in as many years, the Huskies now advance to the NCAA hockey tournament, where they're the 4th seed in the East region, paired up against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That game's slated for this Friday at 3 o'clock from Bridgeport, Connecticut. And currently underway is perhaps one of the craziest March Madness tournaments in history. For evidence of this, look no further than the South region, where we saw the likely top NBA draft pick DeAndre Ayton and his Arizona Wildcats exit in the first round against the Buffalo Bulls. Then, of course, there was the monumental upset of UMBC over top-seeded Virginia, the first 16 seed to defeat a 1 seed in tournament history. Plus, there's the Cinderella Loyola Chicago team that has won both their games in the final seconds to reach the Sweet 16. And for the first time in the history of this tournament, the highest seed in a given region to make the Sweet 16 is a 5, in this case, Kentucky. And the Cleveland Cavaliers announced earlier this morning that head coach Tyronn Lue is stepping away from the team to address health issues. Lue left Saturday night's 114-109 win over the Chicago Bulls with an illness, marking the 3rd time this season his health kept him from coaching a game start to finish. Lue considered stepping away multiple times earlier in the year to address his health issues, at first not stepping away during the team's early season losing streak, then electing to stay once again around the trade deadline so he could integrate the new players into Cleveland's lineup and offensive scheme. Lue hopes to return to the team in time for the playoffs, but in the meantime, assistant coach Larry Drew will take up interim head coaching duties. Well, Anthony, Cleveland continues to undergo some personnel shakeups, and I hear a Florida Zoo has undergone a personnel shakeup.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Now, human beings that we are born about under 2 feet tall, but this giraffe was born at 6 feet 4, which is taller than over 95% of the adult population in the United States. The Brevard Zoo in Florida welcomes the newborn into their establishment, and the baby giraffe is the 2nd giraffe to have been born at the zoo in the last 4 months. The calf and his mother are staying behind the scenes over the next couple of weeks for privacy. And with that, that is all the time we have for you today. And come back tomorrow and we'll give you more news, per usual, and we hope to see you soon.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.